Choose your destiny. You were either for Digimon or Pokemon. Or you were that one weirdo who liked Monster Rancher. There's nothing worse than constantly living in the shadows to put something out there only for people to say, this is like this other thing. Like you can't just be accepted as your own. One show that unfairly got stigmatized by that, as requested by Ghost Spirit Sama of the Patreon review raffle, is the 1999 anime series Digimon, Digital Monsters. But allow me to scale further back during the Tamagotchi craze before Digimon premiered. All over 1997, every backpack keychain held a Tamagotchi until they got banned from schools. I had one of the Toy Story aliens. Most of what you did was feed a pet, clean its dookie, and play some crude mini games until your pet would pass away. Shit, die, repeat. It was a way of life. For the company Bandai, Tamagotchi was popular among girls, but they wanted to reach the boys' demographic, so they made Digimon.
Digimon! Prepare to Digimon, the original digital monster. How well you train him determines the monster you get.
Same thing, this time you could connect them together and fight. It ain't no Street Fighter 2 Tournament Edition, hell, it ain't even a Hollaback Girl, but virtual creatures fighting was awesome when none of us owned a Game Boy Link cable. Probably should have kept those old toys because these damn things go for so much on eBay.
Everything will be okay.
Everywhere you went was a new virtual pet simulator. It was fun for like an hour. I played those things once and moved away from Digimon, until this one day my cousin called me into the room to inform me she saw a commercial for Digimon the TV series on the Fox Kids Saturday morning block. The moment I heard that, I was totally like, okay. I didn't really care. But eventually, I saw it on TV, obsessed over its first 3 seasons, watched it again now, and I have to say, it holds up partially well.
They're everywhere! What are they?
We're Digimon! Digital Monsters!
Digital monsters?
Yes, Digimon!
7 kids sign up for camp but are somehow sent to another world, the Digital world. I can't pronounce digital, where they are each partnered with a monster friend. Together, they must survive, fight evil, and find a way back to the real world. Each arc, they face a villain who plots to kill them, for they are the Digidestins, destined to digivolve their Digimon using the power of friendship, courage, kindness, and other emotions I no longer feel. It's an ongoing adventure storyline with plot progression, character development, on top of having a beginning, middle, and end. You know, everything the Pokemon anime lacked.
Buzz off.
Are you okay?
Simply for having Mon in the title, which is short for Monsters, every kid on the playground called this a Pokemon ripoff, yet we still watched it anyway. I will say, Pokemon had the better video games, but Digimon was the better show.
You're always putting me down.
7 kids with 7 Digimon. Sounds like too much to follow, but we got to know each of them so well. Okay, really, only half of them. The Digimons themselves were mostly the same blissful personalities who don't understand Earth customs, but the 7 humans are all distinct. These were just some kids who wanted to go to summer camp but were transported to a world full of monsters, so it's a little safer than summer camp. On top of being lost on this island, they often discuss and flashback to issues they dealt with at home and school. Problems like difficulty socializing or expressing emotions, siblings separated through divorce. It was a very close to home show for such a fantastical concept.
Don't you think it's time we told Izzy the truth, dear?
No, I'm afraid if we told it now, it might be too big of a shock.
I know you're trying to do what's best, but I worry that once he finds out, he'll be upset we didn't tell him sooner.
Well, we just can't think about that now.
Izzy? Izzy? Huh?
Oh, did I say divorce? I meant to say digivorce. There's episodes when characters like the leader Tai acted insufferable, only for it to all bite him in the ass by the end of it. Did Tai deserve to suffer? Yes, but it was still a bummer. Along the way, they meet other Digimon who had their own stories to tell, and sometimes meet a cruel fate, even ones that didn't do anything wrong. Like, damn, death was something they did not shy away from.
What better reason do we need to get the Dark Masters? Payback for making our friends leave.
I'm not going.
Huh? What are you saying?
I have had enough. Every time we fight, we wind up losing another friend.
Through 54 episodes, they of course make it back and spend time in the real world, which here is where I say the story gets better. The kids aren't just talking about it, we're seeing their family life firsthand. There's an inviting feeling to go from wandering the woods to having them eat dinner with their familiars. But don't worry, even in the real world, there's still the impending doom looming through this mysterious blanket of fog summoning evil Digimon. I enjoy how this series starts from a story about survival in the wilderness to becoming a sort of giant monster natural disaster saga.
Rough day at work, huh?
You know, same old same.
But that's enough about the humans. This is about the Digimans. Holla holla, love them garlic champions. As each kid is aided by a single Digimon, that Digimon can evolve. That Digimon can digivolve between different forms should they have enough energy and emotional support from their masters, much like me when I cry in front of the dominatrix I hired. You want some pussy cats to cuddle with? There's a Digimon for that. You want a Digimon to fight for you while you consensually bend her over a desk while you fuck her right in the pussy as you suck shits on her chest as she yells the Bible verse, "Thou shalt," which is my third favorite racial slur, right next to Top 10, top 3 Digimon I would cremate, emphasis on cream. Angelmon had that exposed leg, aw yeah. Kazimon, I don't know how that got past the censors. Renamon, if she's a single fox, I don't give two fucks. Now that I've scared off half the viewers, I was more partial to the mechanical Digimon design-wise. The bug Digimon were also cool to my younger self. Was I the only one to notice the jaws of these two beetle Digimon resemble the alien and predator? I probably am, so I take credit for it. But some of these Digimon got flat out stupid, like here's Garugamon, a simple white tiger sort of wolf, right? But he mega digivolves into Where Garugamon. Yeah, even as a kid, that CG was pretty jarring. So you get the same wolf, put him on hind legs, give him some Wrangler jeans from Sears, brass knuckles, shoulder pads on the side, a thing to cover his arms, spooky skulls, straps, more straps, even more straps than Sonic Boom, knee pads good for begging, a dog tag and scars. Is this too much? But it doesn't get crazier than Gundramon. Technically, from my knowledge of US laws, he's not carrying any concealed weapons, so this should be legal. So how about the grosser Digimon, like those slugs who threw pink turds, oh, pink sludge, as they called it in the American cut, since kids don't know what poop is, apparently. And then here's this emoji motherfucker, Nanimon. Does he have a dick? No, he does not, but I hate him the most. He's an alcoholic. Oh, I'm sorry, he loves soda too much in the American cut, because kids don't know what alcoholics are. I hate that man and hope horrible things happen to him. It gets worse because, look out ladies, here comes the crotch monster.
What is that thing?
But let me bring up those old LED virtual pet toys again. With limitations comes creativity. These screens were, what, only 32 by 16 pixels? So they had to really think about how to make unique, expressive characters in such little space with only 2 colors. Simple, iconic characters that continue to be part of the series. If you're in the middle of a tight spot, you're gonna have to bend over backwards to create something unique. Ironically, when you limit someone's creativity, you actually make them more creative to get around those limitations.
There's more amazing adventures next in Fox San Antonio's Kid Zone.
Just minutes away, get wild with Agumon! Catch Digimon at a special time coming up in just a few minutes on Fox Kids!
I just want to say, no, the incest episode of Digimon was a hoax. As hot as that sounds, it just wasn't real. Anyway.
Wow, Agumon, you're the man.
While limitations benefited the designs, the animation itself suffered. The early episodes were a little stiffer, and till the end of the series, they would recycle the same attack animations and Digivolution sequences. So to eat up 20 seconds or more if multiple Digimon partake, we have to sit through this Sailor Moon bullshit. There is no hyperbole when I say the second to final episode ends on 2 minutes of every Digimon on the team digivolving, and the episode right after opens to another minute of digivolving. It's like BSing an essay topic you know nothing about to reach that page limit. If you are working on an essay, remember, save it now or risk doing it again. One pro to the visuals are the human designs. They're much more unique than the other anime guy. They kinda have a Western appeal with their bulbous gloved hands and Betty Spaghetti arms. I'm thinking it's inspired by Rubber Hose era cartoons, or maybe gloves are just what people wear during camp. I don't know these things. In first grade, I attended a Boy Scouts meeting at school. I didn't sign up, I just wanted the free glow sticks they were giving out.
And this little kid is Izzy. He should have gone to computer camp. Oh, and this is Joe. But don't ever scare him. He'd probably wet his pants.
As this is a Japanese anime from the 90s brought over to America, how's the English dub? How do you think? I usually prefer watching the dub since I don't want to read subtitles, but even I have to say this is terrible. It gets better as the series progresses, but it's also quite clear they dubbed in jokes and lines where characters weren't even talking, as sometimes no one's mouth is moving, yet voices are coming in. It almost feels like a soulless marketing team wrote the script to appeal to 6 to 11-year-old boys.
It all began when the climate went completely out of control. The rainforest dried out, and other places got totally flooded with oceans like chocolate sauce.
Oh, yeah, that's one way to describe a natural disaster that killed people and destroyed their homes. All that darn chocolate milk sauce. Oh man, Pompeii. It's like hot sauce just spilled on my table. Gosh darn it, Jonestown, you guys really need to check the expiration on that Kool-Aid. I haven't even touched on the numerous audio mistakes. Too many times voices would come out of the wrong person's mouth. There was even this scene where a random voice would sound and it had no place in the episode.
Over here!
Matt! Huh? Well, so much for no fighting.
That girl voice does not belong to anyone on screen. It doesn't belong to anyone on the cast. What happened here? Did a child sneak into the recording booth?
Over here!
Matt! Huh? Well, so much for no fighting.
According to a 107 Facts video, voice actor Jeff Nimoy stated 4 different directors worked on the dub, and several executives were hired and quit during production. So likely their editing timeline would be filled with the previous person's unfinished work. It's atrocious. Even their choice of sound effects are off-putting to say the least.
That is after I get something to eat. I'm really famished.
I don't think spontaneous ejaculation is a symptom of hunger, though it is a symptom of thirst. But as for content cut out from the US, it's the usual guns, alcohol, and stuff adults don't think kids would understand from a different country. But it's nowhere near as bad as the 4Kids One Piece dub.
What's this? It looks like instructions. Huh? It's written in digicode.
Yeah, sure, digicode, that's what that is. Look, you gotta understand, kids being shown other cultures is incredibly confusing in a simple, fictional story about kids dealing with domestic issues transported into a second world within a computer featuring creatures evolving into different power levels. You know what also is confusing? This scene where a fire Digimon charges at a village as the kids are frozen in shock. The English dub forgets shock is a human emotion, so they added dialogue of one of the kids instructing the group to hold still.
Everybody freeze! Don't move a muscle.
Burn! 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 Ah! Unfreeze!
Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense! I also don't get why some religious references were cut out, yet others remained intact. In this spooky episode where Sora, the Tom girl, and Joe, the medic, find themselves in a haunted church, Joe realizes the best way to get rid of these lost unholy souls is to put his hands together and concentrate really, 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 really hard.
I once saw a show about this Roman physicist. He believed that repeating a phrase helps you focus mind over matter. Bakuman, lose your power. Bakuman, lose your power.
God, this is stupid. I mean, gosh, this is stupid. In the later half of the season, they were even warned of this prophecy.
When the clock strikes the hour of the beast, the undead king will reveal himself in his true form.
Terrific, but what's the hour of the beast?
666. 6 seconds and 6 minutes past 6 o'clock.
Okay, no prayer allowed, but the number of the beast is totally fine. The American Digimon had some weird standards, like much of the shower scenes were kept in, but no other change gets as much hate as the music. Going through a nostalgia marathon of looking up cartoon intros with other people in college in a mostly Hispanic population, I often heard,
"This isn't the real Digimon theme. Play Butterfly, the Japanese theme." Way.
I grew up in America, but when I watched this in Mexico while visiting family, this was my first discovery that Japanese anime had some changes depending on the region. Mexico will gladly keep the Japanese intros and most of the inappropriate content America is just too prudish for. Maybe the US kids just weren't ready to see a slap fight among two women.
Las mujeres cuando se enfadan son terribles, ¿no lo crees? No te dejes ganar, dale duro, duro, duro!
And Mexico was already airing Dragon Ball GT while America was still in the middle of DBZ. Whether that's a good thing or not, I have no idea. But let's discuss the music. This was the US theme song. They would recycle this during pivotal moments like when they're digivolving or have a toy commercial to sell. Though I am a sucker for that faux John Williams Back to the Future-esque score they put in the background. I always need a triumphant score.
Solomon, Digivolve 2! Rikakumon!
That's one nice thing to say about the US music, but then there's that sort of punk Offspring ripoff sound like, damn man, we get it, this was the 2000s.
Things are starting to accelerate into something never stopping, always trouble falling now. I think I'm getting dizzy, too much spinning, page by page, and planets thinking.
I'm messing with you all really, I freaking love how dated this song sounds, and hey, it's better than what Brazil got. Meanwhile, for Japan's music, instead of recycling the opening theme for when they're digivolving, we have the song Braveheart and its wicked guitar screech. I feel cheated. Why didn't we get this song growing up? Definitely Japan had more appropriate choices of music, whereas America has this folksy campfire song that comes out of nowhere. A grand epic battle is no place to use this.
Hey Digimon, hey Digimon. Monster friends to the boys and girls. Hey Digimon, hey Digimon.
The song's good, but it doesn't fit. A lot of these don't fit. Digimon really deserves a new English dub.
Why don't you just read the subtitles?
Nah. Once the 54 episodes were done, Digimon Adventures, as this season was called in Japan, was done. It was time to pass the torch. Time skipping 3 years into the future was Digimon Adventures 2. The youngest Digidestin, TK, and spoiler, the new 8th Digidestin that joined the team long ago are older and meet up with the next generation of Digidestins. Like Davis, this hip, impulsive young kid with goggles and a fire-based Digimon 2. He's totally not just a rehash of Tai.
Oh, I get it. You're jealous of me.
I'm not jealous of anybody.
The new cast of kids were alright, yet to make up for it, this season had the more complex villains. Ken, the Digimon Emperor, is a Digidestin who tortures Digimon because he believes they're merely a computer program. Ken is the one that goes through the most tragic character development, like anyone, just hug this man.
Oh, come on! Finish them!
I have them now.
Never!
I'll stay and guard the hill.
Forever, my favorite moment had TK and Ken face off. No Digimon involved, just the two about to mess each other up. It was a joy to witness a simple fistfight break out in these cartoons that use fantasy elements to avoid hand-to-hand combat amongst kids.
You will listen to me!
When you can't think of anything to say, do you always resort to fighting?
I guess.
Digimon Adventures 2 was a good follow-up, but after 50 more episodes, they rebooted Digimon into a separate universe and continued to reboot it, which I think that and also repeatedly switching TV channels caused its viewership to drop in the US. Maybe it was bound to happen. The Hasbro Corporation learned to never kill off and continue a toy line without their Optimus Prime and G.I. Joe Duke, lest they scare off their audience. Digimon was rebooted so many times it was never the same show twice. It began as a quest with kids and their animal partner, another is a card game where creatures come to life, then the one where the kids become Digimon. There was no consistency. I used to be mad as a kid, like, why did the characters have to go? Why couldn't we keep following them like we do with Ash Ketchum?
Well, guys, this is it. What can I say?
Try goodbye.
In the end, what Digimon did was for the best. Not for marketing, but for its story. While Pokemon follows Ash and Pikachu to a never-ending saga of 500+ episodes, Digimon had its stories planned out and resolved. But it's not over. For nostalgia's sake, we get a new multi-part series of movies with the old cast. Digimon Adventures Tri Reunion, featuring much of the original US cast back together in the English dub. I've yet to watch these.
7 young kids go to camp for the summer, wind up living in a digital land where everybody gets to meet his own Digimonster, a digital companion, a digital friend.
While I narrate this video, 90s animes like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Sailor Moon continue to be a beast all over social media. Digimon, on the other hand, is celebrating its 20th anniversary in 2017 to very little fanfare, at least in the US. Why the neglect?
Saw you on the TV today, Tiger. Soon you're gonna need a stick to keep all of the ladies away, just like your old dad.
Yeah, it doesn't fully hold up, but neither did those other animes. I see Digimon in the same light as I see the video game Sonic Adventure. It had its impact on me as a kid, but it's not as good now as a jaded adult. Both their animations are buggy, the sound mixing's awful, voices are terrible, but its heart was in the right place when trying to tell a story. I can still accept that. It's not perfect, but Digimon was a good effort.
Thanksgiving, the day we all sit together to feast as a family.
I am so full I won't have to eat for at least a year.
But on the day after all that eating, the only thing you'll want to do is sit back in front of the old TV.
Really?
And watch an entire afternoon of wall-to-wall action straight from the Digi World. Watch the Digimon Digithon this Friday afternoon only on Fox Kids.
Download free Digimon virtual trading cards online at foxkids.com.